Well, this is a good way to start the Wednesday. On this Wednesday, the Lakers begin the day as the 9th seed in the West.
No good. Rebound Schroeder. He's got KD in front of the play. Slam dunk.
That's right. They're in the playoffs, in the play-in, after a gutsy performance by AD and the rest of the squad. What a night last night at Crypto.com.
Reeves dribbles left. Reeves down the middle. Got it to Schroeder. Schroeder's 15-footer. Good!
How did you pull this out?
Defense. We gotta win basketball games. Do whatever I can to come out and compete every night, help this team get victories.
And yes, the bit yesterday was, how was Slee going to handle the toss to the Pau Gasol ceremony at halftime?
Yeah, Chris, go to hell.
Yeah! That's good for a promo, too.
That was Slee from the afternoon show yesterday. But Slee was pumped up, and he did a beautiful job. There was never a doubt. I just needed a bit to get through the day. Good job, Slee. Good job, Lakers. We're reacting and talking about it all day long as the Lakers' push to the playoffs continues. Let's get to it. A bit of a celebration Wednesday, right? Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday right now.
Yeah, of course it's a celebration Wednesday. They're above the line, Al. We haven't got to say it all season long. Not only are they above the line, they've got a cushion. They're in 9th. Season accomplished. Mission accomplished.
How far are they from the Kings? Coming straight for number 2.
Let's go get the Nuggets.
Let's be reasonable here. We don't want to lose the trust of our listeners.
What's the number 1 seed overall? How can they have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs? It is
that
a
was fun
for
last
celebration.
night.
It was.
That was fun last night.
It was a long time coming.
Yeah.
Now let's just, so we can enjoy this without having it hanging over our heads.
Okay.
Let's just stipulate that I understand they're in 9th place.
Yes.
I understand that they didn't take over the number 1 seed. I understand it's 9th, and I understand that a bad weekend and we could be right back outside. I understand. But at least for the purposes of this conversation, they're in the play-in game, which has never been true for the entire season. They're finally in there. They had an unbelievable Anthony Davis night. They got some support. They beat a team, in Memphis that's at least now the number 3 seed in the West. Just a great night all around. You and I were talking when I grabbed a cup of coffee that you were obviously there, which we'll talk about, but there was buzz on TV. There was energy that kind of coming through the TV screen as well.
So I just screenshotted the standings just based off of everything that you just said. I want to have this for me.
Frame it.
I want to have it
bedroom.
because I don't know what could happen here the rest of the way.
You know what you should do?
They're above the line.
You should do like the Rocky thing where you put it in your bathroom mirror where every morning when you get up to shave and brush your teeth, you look at it as like inspiration.
The date?
Yeah, well, yeah.
March
Instead
7th.
of having Clubber Lang or Apollo
2023.
Creed, you stare at it every morning. Like, that's where we need to get to.
Why do you
I'd
have
like
a
to play it
photo
out.
of the standings next to you, Lady Slee, and Rook? Well, it was just an important night. It was an important night in Laker history. Okay, I'll say this. Just from a vibe perspective, and I don't think by you saying, I had somebody call on the postgame show and say, man, that sucks that we're really that excited for the Lakers to be number 9 in the Western Conference. But then he went into the whole, I don't really care. I'm excited that the Lakers are number 9 in the Western Conference.
I think that's right.
I think that the 2-10 start, I think the season last year with Russell Westbrook, and you started the season, or you ended the season with 33 and 49, I think they went. I think that this year started out so bad, and you were still looking at the roster 50 games in and saying, what the hell is going on here? And now all of a sudden, I think you've won 6 of your last 8 games. Most of that damage coming since Bron's been out against all teams that are also fighting for playoff position, right? I think there's a little bit of that. And then let's not, the juice yesterday too. Pau Gasol is one of my favorite players of all time. I think for Laker fans to see, he was, we'll do this as the show goes on, it was perfect. Pau Gasol and his halftime speech and the jersey going up next to Kobe Bryant, and there's number 24 and there's number 16, and the way he talked about what it meant to him, the crowd, the fans, all of that was perfect. And then, oh, by the way, you had a game that you were trying to win to get to everything that you're talking about. So I don't want to make it too dramatic, but yesterday was one of the more exciting Laker games I've been to in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
It has. It was. I'm sorry, but it was.
You're right.
Yeah.
But it's just that's kind of like a bucket of cold water simultaneously. It was. And Pau was great, and his talk was great, and it just feels right. He belongs up there. and he belongs up there next to.
It's only 12 players.
That's what I mean. It's
Yep.
just it's appropriate. It's right, and it was like John said yesterday. The Lakers are very good at doing those moments. They just kind of and they've had a lot of practice. They've had a lot of great players and a lot of great moments, so they've kind of got that figured out along the way. But yeah, look, are they a championship contender? Not right now. You know, maybe it'll change over the course of the final month of the season. I don't know. Maybe
Bron
won't,
come
maybe it
back?
won't.
Does he not?
Maybe.
Yep.
But I think like you said, for the intents and purposes of this season, this was an accomplishment. We're seeing Anthony Davis play at a level that I think we've all been hoping he could get to and stay at. He's been able to do it for a week or so, a couple of weeks, and I hope it continues. I hope he does it again against Toronto on Friday night. I hope he does it against the Knicks on Sunday. I'm you know my feelings on this. He there's no shade coming. He was amazing. He won that game for them down the stretch last night. I think I may have said this to you, or maybe I said it to somebody else. I'm just blown away by what a good passer he is. Like, he seems to find the right guy at the right time a whole bunch. And he's using that skill to become even a better offensive player, to get more buckets, because they can't just crash on him all of a sudden because he's able to find so many different guys. He got smacked in the face last night. He got bloodied. He kept going along the way. He was terrific. And there is no but. He was terrific. I just crossed my fingers and want to see him do it again.
Can I clarify your shade when you say there's no shade towards him? I think people sometimes misinterpret when you talk about Anthony Davis. My viewpoint. I don't feel like you question AD's skill set.
No.
I don't think you question that the man when things are right, he looks amazing. I don't think you question, can the guy hit a 15-foot jumper? I don't think you question, is Anthony Davis a good basketball player? Your hesitation on AD is availability. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but I keep saying this, and I've said this to Michael in the pregame show. I'm like, look, if LeBron's not there, I'm not worried about AD getting numbers. He's going to get numbers.
Yeah.
Every player that's on the floor with
Little
him
different
is a role player.
In numbers and impactful numbers. And for the last, 10 days or so, they've not only been great numbers, they've been deeply impactful.
But even, let's just say hypothetically, like last night, I think the last couple of games he had 38, 39. Yesterday he had a 30
and 20.
Right? 30 and 22.
Right.
But I think he's going to get his points. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think it just comes down with Anthony Davis. If he played every game the rest of the way, then you would say, wow, that was a really great stretch. And when the Lakers needed him most and when LeBron wasn't there, look at what Anthony Davis did. And most importantly, he was there every single game.
Mm-hmm. That's the part.
That's the part that I think people need to separate with. It's not if Anthony Davis played 70 games last year and the Lakers still won 33 games, that's a different conversation. But it's not possible. If he plays 70 games, they're not going to win 33 games. He's just too good of a player. Mm-hmm. But the only reason why I want to say that is because I think sometimes people look at, yes, are there times where you might say, man, I wish AD was a little bit more aggressive. But most of that comes when Bron is there and he's just watching LeBron. It doesn't really happen when he's by himself.
No, when he's by himself, he's that guy.
And
that
everybody's
throw to him.
And
the other, and again, this is not to diminish what Anthony Davis has done over the last couple of days because he's been terrific. They just have a much better team than they had a month ago.
Yeah.
They just have a much, much better team than they had 2 months ago, right? That when you look around and you see Jared Vanderbilt doing what he's doing, Austin Reeves has improved a great deal. He's more comfortable doing what they're asking him to do.
Dennis Schroeder's a gamer.
Schroeder has been really
gamer.
good. There is no more Patrick Beverly. There is no more Russ. There's just they're just better. That Anthony Davis is available and playing at a high level. That has to happen because nothing else matters if that isn't happening. But that is happening. Now all of those secondary players become far more important, and they're delivering. When Dennis Schroeder pulls up to take a shot, you're not holding your breath. When Malik Beasley pulls up a shot, you're not saying, oh, my gosh, no. The guys that were playing heavy minutes, not really. The odds of that shot going in are NBA average. They're not NBA below average, right? There's a huge difference between those two things. They've got a chance to win. If Anthony Davis is good, that's the that's the ante to the pot, right? You have to have that. Whether you can win the pot is going to be determined on everybody else. And last night, everybody else was good. Anthony Davis was great. They won. They're inside the line. It's incredibly exciting. It's a little weird to say it like that, but it is exciting.
Well, listen, here's the good news, too. The good news is, I said the good and the bad news. The good news is that there's still so many teams crammed together. The difference between 9 and 8 is it's a colossal difference, right? And what could, if the
You
playoffs...
got a small cushion.
If the playoffs started today, which is kind of fascinating, right? You would host a game against the Pelicans, and then let's just say it went as planned. Minnesota beat the Clippers. Lakers and the Clippers would have a game at Crypto to determine who gets in the playoffs. That's kind of, that's interesting. That's kind of fascinating to see.
Absolutely it is.
So I set it up that way because there's still a lot of basketball left. Anything can happen. But the Lakers, for the first time, and literally for the first time all season, are above that line, and they're actually in that little playoff picture, and we'll see how things go.
You don't have to talk yourself into a scenario that, well, if this and then that and then this and then that, they'll be above the line. They're above the line. They got to where they needed to go, and now they just need to stay above the line. And I want to do what you said next. The Lakers and Clippers facing each other in the play-in is a very real possibility all of a sudden. Like you said, there's time left, and they both could move out of it. They both could move out of it the wrong way.
Sure.
They both could stay in it. They could see a first-round matchup. It could be a second-round matchup. There's a lot of things that could go, but it also could be Lakers-Clippers for a spot to go to the playoffs. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good. Oh.